Have you ever pondered the secret life of snails, those mysterious, slow-moving guardians of the garden? Prepare to embark the unexpected and fascinating world of these tiny creatures. From their intricate shells to their surprising significance in various industries, we're uncovering the hidden wonders of snails. Snail farming, or heliciculture, is about raising land snails for eating or using in cosmetics. You got your escargot, the meat and snail eggs, also known as white caviar. The Roman snail is quite famous, but there are better options for farming. People usually grab those from the wild. Now, history takes us back. Archaeologists dug up roasted snail shells, proving snails were on the menu way back. The Romans, who were into snail farming, called it lumaca romana. Raised those snails near their houses in what they called cochlea. Escargot wasn't just any food. The Romans saw it as a classy choice. Pliny the Elder wrote about it, and they were picky about the snails they bred. Land in Britain saw some snail action, but less than on the continent. France might have kick-started the snail trend in California in the 1850s, exporting those brown garden snails. Some say the Italians did it first in the United States. Who brought the snails? That's a debate. All right, let's dig into the snail's biology. Pay attention because this is crucial for doing the snail farming dance. Snails are party animals. They're hermaphrodites, meaning they've got both male and female bits. But here's the kicker. They must mingle with another snail of the same kind before laying eggs. Some snails switch roles, playing male one season and female the next. Others are multitasking, doing both at the same time. They get into the mood in late spring or early summer when they're big and mature enough, which might take a few years. Some might even go for a round two in the summer. If you're in the tropics, snails might be dancing more often. And in some places, mating goes down around October, with a possible encore 2 weeks later. Growth is a whole saga. Some grow faster than others in the same snail crew and under the same conditions. Some take their sweet time to mature, maybe twice as long. This diversity helps the species handle rough times in the wild. Many factors play into snail growth. How crowded they are, stress from noise, light, and other annoyances, what they eat, temperature, moisture, and how you're playing the breeding game. When a baby snail pops out, its shell size depends on the egg size. The shell grows bit by bit as the snail grows up. Once there's a fancy lip at the opening, the snail is all grown up. No more shell growth from there. Growth is measured by shell size because a snail's weight can change, even in 100% humidity. Growth rates are all over the place in each snail group. Usually the speedsters are the big shots. Dry weather is a growth buzzkill. When it gets hot and dry, snails strike, seal their shells, and nap until things cool down. Some snooze in groups on trees, posts, or walls, sealing themselves up tight. The party time for snails, where they munch and grow, happens a few hours after sunset when it's cooler and there's more dew around. In the daytime, they play hide and seek, seeking shelter. Let's dive into the details of snail farming. Having the right tools to give those little fellas an excellent life would be best. Think snail pen gadgets to check humidity, temperature, soil moisture, and light. Remember a scale and a tool to size up your snails. A soil test kit and a magnifying glass for egg spotting would be handy. If you're feeling extra, add some climate control gear, a sprinkler system to keep things moist, and a plan to ward off pests. Now let's talk about the setups. You've got outdoor pens, indoor spots with controlled climates, closed systems like plastic tunnel houses or greenhouses, and a trick where snails hatch inside and then move outside after a few months. The key to success? Hygiene, my friend. Keep it clean, switch out the chow daily to avoid spoilage, and toss in some earthworms. They're like the cleanup crew, but be cautious. Snails have enemies. Parasites, nematodes, fungi, and other tiny troubles can mess with your snail crew. Pseudomonas aeruginosa, a tricky bacteria, can cause chaos in a crowded pen. Watch out for predators. Rats, mice, moles, skunks, birds, frogs, toads, lizards, insects, and even predatory snails with a taste for their kind. Feeding time? April through October or whenever the weather feels right. Spread the chow out so everyone gets a fair share. Snails have a raspy tongue, called a radula, to nibble away at their food. But remember, they might not chow down daily, and a little evening irrigation can coax them into munching. Now, the climate is a big deal. Snails are chill at 59-77 degrees Fahrenheit and have high humidity. The sweet spot is around 70 degrees Fahrenheit, but below 45 degrees Fahrenheit, they sleep. And under 50 degrees Fahrenheit, growth takes a holiday. Too hot above 81 degrees Fahrenheit or too dry, and they estivate. Basically, they take a break. Wind's the enemy. It dries them out faster than a desert breeze. Snails are all about that damp life. They like it moist but not flooded, so good drainage in the soil is critical. Water content around 80% of the soil's capacity and air humidity over 80% during the dark hours are prime conditions. Some farmers even mix things up to keep that moisture game strong. Soil matters too. Snails dig it literally. Good soil means good growth and nutrition. Ensure it doesn't get all slimy and messy, and watch out for any chemical changes over time. Modern snail farming has evolved, and efficient cages are a crucial component. These cages are meticulously designed to ensure control over essential elements like temperature, light, humidity, food, and waste management systems. Providing adequate space for snails to move and grow is paramount for their well-being. Calculating the cage size is essential, tailoring it to accommodate the specific number of snails being raised. The farming process involves breeding and hatching the snails within a controlled environment. Subsequently, they are transferred to an outdoor cage to mature. In extensive snail farms, the selection of native snails is standard. Breeding through fertilization is employed, contributing to the preservation and development of local snail species. This approach aids in maintaining biodiversity and safeguarding the environment. After mating, the snails lay approximately 80 white eggs in a moist underground nest. The newly hatched snails initially have fragile shells and take around 2 years to mature. This careful and controlled farming process ensures the well-being and growth of the snail population. The eggs undergo incubation for about 15 days, and once hatched, the young snails are left in a mustard plant farm to eat and grow. The farm must be kept moist and warm, often facilitated by an automatic misting system. Once the snails have matured gradually through the farming process, the farm owner takes on the responsibility of caring for and managing the snail herd. Ensuring their optimal growth and reproduction is crucial. The snails are provided access to clean leaves or vegetables, as snails favor these foods due to their richness in vitamins, protein, and calcium. These nutrients contribute to strengthening and enhancing the health of their shells. Farmers regularly sprinkle fertilizer and water the plants throughout the year to cultivate this food source for snails. This meticulous care ensures a consistent and nutritious diet for the snails, promoting their overall well-being. The culture period concludes in September, marking the harvest season. Workers collect the snails, ensuring they stay moist. Sorting by size is crucial, and some farms use rotating screens with variable hole sizes for this purpose. Manual inspection ensures quality control. After inspection, the snails are ready for packing and shipping. For customers desiring only the meat without the shell, the snail's meat is extracted, boiled, and stored for later shipment. Snail eggs are processed into Snail Caviar, which, for $3,000 per kilogram, is a more affordable alternative to sturgeon caviar. Imagine a process that starts with gathering snail shells, subjecting them to steam until baby snails debut. The main goal is to extract a liquid gold mine for crafting oil and cream, the final products we're after. Now, let's groove to the next track in this symphony of snail farming. We whip up a chemical composition, mixing it with more chemicals into a tub. Half of this mix takes a detour to become cream, while the other half is on a journey to become oil. Pack them into their designated boxes, neatly arranged and ready for the next steps. Now, this Snail Farm technology is different from your run-of-the-mill setup. It's not just a handful of snails. We're talking about a bustling snail community. The snails do their thing, laying eggs, and these tiny potential snails are tucked under wooden tables, soaking up natural sunlight for speedy growth. After waiting, the farm crew lifts those wooden tables and manually gathers the snails into buckets. They are good to go with a quick rinse with some splashed water. Some head off to the market for a snail feast, while others join the manufacturing process we discussed earlier. Every move needs careful attention, especially with a watering system on standby at different times. The farm also throws in some greenery, planting various plants that assist in snail growth on both ground and tables. After some time, its manual picking of snails set this farm apart with its unique methods aiming for natural snail growth, steering clear of artificial interventions. Regarding snail caviar at this farm, it's not just a natural affair, it's a blend of nature and cutting-edge tech. The eggs soak up sunlight under tables and the watering system is top-notch, splashing water around like nobody's business. An advanced system like this helps crank out a large snail army simultaneously. The caviar selection is a professional job handled by experienced workers. The shells get fancy packaging, ensuring they reach you intact and living up to the farm's promise of quality. Cosmetics also benefit from snails, specifically their slime. A muller machine allows for extracting large quantities of slime without harming the snails. The slime, processed and refined, is used in various cosmetics. This discovery dates back to the 1980s when a Chilean family running a snail gardening business noticed that their skin became softer and more transparent after handling snails, leading to the integration of snail slime into skincare products. Additionally, snail meat extracted from these creatures is easily digestible and rich in protein and minerals. This makes snails an ideal meal for various demographics, including children, the elderly, and those facing health conditions. Raising snails with proper care and attention to their living conditions can be rewarding. In conclusion, snails serve diverse purposes, from culinary delights to skincare and beyond, making them a fascinating and multifaceted exploration subject. If you found this information interesting, please leave a like and subscribe for more engaging content.